Hey there.
Hey Digvijay, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bhargav?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's good to see you again. I remember the last
Yeah.
time you were here on one of our events. You did not, it was you minus the beard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was that long ago. Yeah.
Also the pandemic. I don't care about my
Also, the
bird anymore.
pandemic. Yeah, well, that's true. Anyway, I hope
Mhm.
you and your family are keeping safe. Everything is good so far.
Under control so
Under
far.
control. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. So, as a quick introduction to Bhargav, he is a senior front end engineer at Contra, and he's been previously working at TSM and Blitz.gg. Uh, Alongside being a developer, he's also a teacher and a mentor at Code Mentor, and he has made some big contributions to Node.js and styled components. So that's a big thing. I think about the rest, I'll let Bhargav tell you all about himself on his own. So, Bhargav, I'd let you speak to our viewers and take it away.
Yep. Thank you for the introduction, Digvijay. So yeah, I hope my screen is visible now. All right. So hey everyone. So today I'm going to talk about type safety in developer experience, mainly in React. So first of all, I'm Bhargav. I'm a full stack dev, and like Digvijay already told you, I do a bit of open source. I teach a bit, and I am Bhargav5 on GitHub and Code with Bhargav on Twitter and YouTube. So make sure you follow me there if you like my content. So with that, let's get started. So type safety in JavaScript is a very new thing, fairly you could say. So back in I think 2018 or so, uh, if you came to your manager and said that let's do type safety in JavaScript, this would what your manager's reaction would look like, because JavaScript is not Java. I don't care about types. Let's just ship features and get it over with. But today, this scene is a lot different now. And what has changed is that it's not just about TypeScript just fixing the build errors, uh, not just the build time stuff that is important these days. You have developer experience, which you would get from VS Code, autocomplete, IntelliSense, and so on. And there is actually some very interesting stuff happening in the GraphQL space that I will talk about towards the end of this talk. The talk is very short. I'm just going to give you a high level overview of how TypeScript is shaping up and type safety is overall shaping up the world today. So, um, the thing about TypeScript is that you don't have to start with 100% type safety on day one. You can start small. You can still write JavaScript and just put a boolean on type on in ts config saying that it's fine, I don't have many types, but let me just work on JavaScript for a while, and then over a period of time you can make sure that you are addressing the coverage and improving, and adding more types as you go on. So TypeScript, if you're not aware, is just it's just like it adds some types to JavaScript. So JavaScript doesn't have anything inherent type wise, so you can create a variable as a string, but over a period of time you can change it to a number. And with that, what happens is that if you unintentionally modify variables, you would run into issues. And TypeScript aims to solve that. And that is a big player in type safety today uh, in the JavaScript ecosystem. And then it's also very good at inferred types. So, for example, you don't have to write uh, var number equals 1 and say that number is a number. It can tell. So, these things also make it very easy when you're getting started with type safety in JavaScript. And you can disable stuff you don't care about. So there are many errors and warnings. For example, when you don't care about some data type, you can just say that this data type is any. It's any or unknown or whatever. You can call. You can use data types which are ambiguous, and that's fine for a period of time. It'll just help you make sure that you're starting off nice and easy, and adding more stuff onto your project. As time goes on. But like I said, it doesn't stop with just TypeScript. Today, there is rapid progress because, like I said, the overall ecosystem is moving towards type safety because of the advantages it gives you So if you have type safety enough in your project, then it's like your entire project is small pieces of a puzzle, and at build time they all fall into place. It can be a GraphQL, it can be your styling library, in fact, like style components. It can be your React components, which have props and prop types, and it can be all your other JavaScript, which are hooks and utils, which can be typed heavily in TypeScript. And so now at this point, TypeScript is like this. The entire ecosystem. In fact, uh, a tool that I love very much is Relay, and Relay is insane with TypeScript and how type safe it is and how it makes our job easier. And I'll talk about it towards the end. So with that, I just want to show you. Um, like I said, the talk is very short. I just want to show you how you can build a drop down if you don't know. Um, you don't know much about a package you install. So Rooks is a package that I maintain. And if you're getting started with Rooks and you don't know how it works, but if it has TypeScript, it makes your job slightly easy. So what I have is I have an app.js here where I'm just going to try to build a dropdown. I have something here, it doesn't do anything. Um, but I want to use the hooks library that Rooks is, which has a tons of hooks that I know I've heard. I'm an end user now. I know that there are hooks, but I don't know what they are. So I can just look at Rooks and just look at all the declarations here, and I can go towards the end. So if the package maintainer was careful enough, then you would have all the declarations here, and you could look at each individual declaration and find out what kind of data is being returned from that hook. So now what I'll do is, because I know that this is a hooks library, I'll just go into app.js and try just using this. So the first thing is I want to just toggle this. So what I'll do is I'll just type in use, and I'll do control space, and that will just open up all the options it has in the project. So I'm just looking for something that I can use, and I'll probably look at use toggle, which is probably something that I want to use for toggling the behavior. So then when I click on braces, it again IntelliSense is helpful. It tells you what kind of data it is expecting. I can start off as false, and then I can look at return type as well. So when I click on this, it tells me that it returns an array of any type. So basically, this is just whatever state you have that is being returned, and you can just grab that over here. It also returns a function. I can grab that as well. I'll call this is open, and toggle is open. I'll just use this to just show this drop down if it is open, and otherwise hide it. And I want to just click on this trigger and toggle it. So types have already helped me to do things like uh, opening and closing a drop down, even though it's a very simple thing. If you are not familiar with the library, you wouldn't be able to do this. Uh, even I was not able to do this. I was the maintainer of hooks. There were like 60 hooks, and I don't know what the syntax for each hook looks like, what kind of various arguments I can expect. And because there are many hooks that I want to use, for example, I want to close a drop down when I click outside, and I don't know how it looks like. So I'll just let autocomplete tell me that it's expecting a handler, and there is a when here. So maybe I can use that. So I want to close the drop down when it is already open. If it's open, close. And what does this return? Let's take a look. It returns an array of a callback ref. Okay, maybe I'll use that. So let's do const ref, and this is probably the ref that I'm tracking the outside event for. So I'll just do ref equals ref. Now I'm going to open the drop down. I click outside, it's going to close. So this is just to give you an idea of how, even if you're not familiar with libraries, but if the package maintainers, which can be you're building a nice library for everyone. If you just type it well, there's a good chance that your end users will have a good time developing good apps with it. Right. So The last thing that I want to touch upon is, I hope I'm still visible. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about is that at Contra and at some other projects that we are building, this is just something that I'm just going to talk about because I think it's very interesting how well the space is evolving. So there is Apollo, which is a big player in GraphQL, right? So you can use Apollo to generate uh, the types in your front end. You can use them, but with Relay you get a touch further. It is actually uh, it is more stringent. It makes life difficult as a developer, but it also makes you uh, more aware of what is happening in your project. So it's like there is an extra compilation step. So when your backend team releases a new API on GraphQL, there's a new field in GraphQL. So Relay will help you generate those types for that new API that was shipped, and you can just simply fetch them by using Relay compile or something like that, and you can directly start using them in your front end. So it's automatically typed on day one. The moment your backend team ships that, your front end already has those types. And it also takes it a step further because it knows that inside the GraphQL system, all data is linked, and it will make sure that because all the types are known, it will only fetch them as they need, as your front end needs the data. So these are some benefits when you're using a type when you're inside a typed ecosystem. When everything is typed, the data is not just data. The data has a meaning to it. It has more metadata that you can use. So on that, I would like to end on one new exciting framework that I think everyone should try, and which is stitches.dev. It's insane. So unlike style components, it does not have the you cannot write CSS, but on the other hand, you get type safety here. So your CSS rules are now uh, you know typed in some way. So for example, you can start building theme tokens, and these will be auto completed for you when you start building your component styles. And that makes things, again, some things are made difficult, but on the other hand, your production build is that much more safer to build, and it saves that much time with bugs. So yeah, I guess the gist of the the moral of the story is that type safety is not necessarily a bad thing, even though as developers we might have to end up write up more code, but it gives us a lot of things. On the other hand, it makes your life that much more easier. You don't ship bugs on the weekend. So thank you very much. Digvijay, I think I'm done.